Happy Sunday, everybody. Welcome to Updates with Precious. Another very great day to bring on an update of all the matter than what happened for Nigeria. It always sweets my mind to bring on these updates. The money in a precious in you. Welcome to Updates with Precious. So plenty Tory food today. We be say we will give on as usual. Every day matter the food for grand will be given. But today no be exception because matter still plenty. What will bring on from the killings for inside Nigeria to the one where be say a broadcaster or a journalist, a broadcasting journalist for inside United States, get mind, get the liver and the integrity to embarrass our first lady. Say our first lady ask him for interview, but he no agree give the interview because he no one made a use in platform to propagate propaganda. Say Christian genocide no day. Hey, how can you tell that to our first lady? That in no one making platform made them use propagate the propaganda, say and made them propagate the claim, say Christian genocide no day. How dare you say that to a first lady? To the Oga David Mark and Akpabio. Oga David Akpabio talk say no, what's make no fit put electronic transmission so that it will become law. Now because of say 9 states no get internet. Oga David Mark talk say Oga just calm down and no be your work to tell INEC on how they go implement them. Just pass the bill as it's supposed to pass. When it reach time, make INEC do their work. Matter plenty we'll go bring for now, plus other things and what they happen for inside Nigeria. Welcome to the show. It's always a great delight to bring you updates of all the things that they happen for inside Nigeria. Oh, yeah, make a go begin bringing the headlines of all of this matter them and more one by fellow. For inside the headline them this evening, Nmamdi Kanu cancels sit at home in southeast Nigeria, calls for normal business, school resumption normal. So people don't they react heavily on this one. People wait there for year and people wait there against, they don't they react. Enugu records 406.7 billion IGR amid outrage over taxes on dead bodies in mortuaries. They pay tax for dead body for mortuary. Oh, by the way, Oga Soludo don't reply about the sit at home. He said, go and flourish, go here home and flourish, because now good news with this one. Days he say, oh yeah, Southeast people, you don't reach on go home, go flourish because this news now good news. Sit at home, go to market on Monday, let your enterprise shine. Soludo tells traders. But make we work inside other stories, one by fellow as they happen for inside the state. 1.5 billion spent on refineries, 1.5 billion dollars spent on refineries with no fuel to show for it. One single drop of fuel like this, no day. Atiku blast NNPCL over Port Harcourt refinery. And electronic transmissions don't speak for INEC. Pass the law. David Mark knocks Akpabio. No network in 9 states. Akpabio justifies Senate decision on electronic transmission. Make I even say because other matters in the inside that matter will be say, hey. So electronic results, Nigerians know the wuru you did. Articles 8 blast Akpabio over it. Nigeria, they very interesting though. Tales by moonlight, now they do. Drama as Tambuwa refuses Ganduje's offer to sit in front of APC flag. Inside they sit down, the APC flag with this. Just some mild drama there. Senate to hold emergency plenary session on Tuesday over this whole drama about electronic transmission and non-electronic transmission. Cowardly asking Peter Obi to abandon presidential ambition because Tinubu controls INEC. Ejimako. Now you talk like that. Why you talk like that? You go know. Now you choose principle over personal comfort. Concosia comments appointees who dumped the Yusuf-led government. So take principle over government. Ocean LG imposes APC state government clash over protest claims. And then Tinubu doesn't want to be like Venezuela President Maduro. SDP presidential candidate, chieftain Adebayo, now they talk this and say, no, Tinubu de melembe. In 1 year, say not become Maduro of Venezuela at all. I'm waiting Oga Adebayo talk, not me talk. All right. And then moving on to other issues very quickly. Constitutional lawyer dismisses Sharia Council of Nigeria's call for INEC chairman's sack. And just 8 days after visiting Nigeria, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is set to embark on UK state visits. And now they use and make man say, has Prince Charles ever invited your Peter Obi before? Has Prince Charles ever invited your Obasanjo before? Did Prince Charles ever invite your Atiku Abubakar? It is only Tinubu that Prince Charles has invited. Ooh. Now they use and make mouth. I'm sorry, I had to be that dramatic. It's sad. Tinubu sent his wife to Washington to lie, cover up for Christian genocide in Nigeria. Oops. U.S. lawmaker Smith, ninth of this one. It's sad. Tinubu sent his wife to Washington to lie, cover up Christian genocide in Nigeria. U.S. lawmaker Smith. Now in the talk this one. I'm coming. We're getting to that. We're still getting to that conversation because it's still there inside the oven. We will talk about them. It's still inside that conversation. Now the other U.S. guy don't come and talk. Say a journalist. I blocked Remi Tinubu from using my platform to cover up Christian genocide in Nigeria. U.S. broadcast journalist. I blocked Remi Tinubu from using my platform to cover up Christian genocide in Nigeria. U.S. broadcaster. Mind the top this one. Wow, 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 wow. Okay. All right, let's move on to other issues very quickly. Stop making excuses. You all have power to impeach Akpabio. Aisha Yusufu tells Nigerian senators. So then they talk, say, oh, we've been passed, 85% been passed, 10% been passed. So if he pass waiting on a no pass, one and no impeach him. Why you not impeach him? What should he talk with that? Now, Tinubu's chief of staff, Bajabia Mila's cousin, languishes in Ikoyi prison over alleged threats, accuses chief of staff of complicity, saying that chief of staff make a still day for Ikoyi prison, according to the report. He that asked Nigeria's chief justice to investigate Kwankwaso's alleged meetings with Supreme Court judges, while Kwankwaso will meet Supreme Court judges. IPOB criticizes U.S. lawmakers warning on Nigeria's U.S. lawmakers' warnings on Nigeria's disintegration, rejects claim that unity ensures Christian safety in Nigeria. Say na lie, say our Christian safety no dey determined by our unity at all at all. UK-based blogger Maureen Badejo was lured to Lagos by Interpol, detained over petitions from Apostle Suleiman, Pastor Olukoya. This according to sources. Abia government blames clerical error for 210 million naira that they allocated for one photocopier for inside the 2026 budget. Says only 12 million approved. They don't know how the other 12 million. They don't know how the next zero is enter inside. Yeah. Okay. EFCC suspends top prosecutor Samuel Chime over alleged bribery to sabotage cases. You are celebrating rescued cows while 162 villagers were massacred in Kwara by terrorists. Netizens blast Nigerian army over misplaced priorities. Say Nigerian army and misplaced priorities on they do. When they celebrate cows we be on a rescue. They show us pictures of cows on a rescue. But when I forget, in fact, Nigerian army released press statement. Say troops record major success. Recover rustled livestock in Kafu LGA of Katsina State. Some people say, now what they do? When they celebrate, so they recover livestock. But people, they don't massacre them like, butcher them like the same cow for inside Kwara State. And when they celebrate this one, that now what Nigerians tell our Nigerian army. Nigeria's politics must shift from transactions, rent seeking to addressing poverty. Peter Obi, others, and then they talk this one. And then my deepest passion is to see children from humble beginning rise to achieve greatness. Obi says donates 5 million to St. John Bosco Group of Schools in Anambra State. And let's see very quickly. Okay. So moving on to other issues. 2027, APC will win if it's politicians' election. If na politicians the election, APC will win. But if the election na the people's election, a lie, APC no go fit win. Adebayo, nice they talk to some. Whatever you read from that, okay. Your guess is as good as mine. Report flags 92 fraudulent projects under Tinubu's administration. 92 very fraudulent, so they know they collect money for they know drum. Enugu records 406.7 billion naira IGR amid outrage over taxes on dead bodies in mortuaries. 1.5 billion spent on refineries with no, I don't tell them that one already say they vex. Say, I don't go spend that kind of money on refineries and nothing to show for them, nothing. Family accuses DSS of disobeying court order as lawyer Moses Odiri remains detained over petition against EFCC chairman. The petition EFCC chairman is still detained. Residents say Nigeria military arrested virtually every man in a Boy's Amasiri amid communal crisis. Say almost every man for Amasiri right now, they arrested. And the Nigerian army, where they come keep peace, so and then they arrest everybody. Panic as terrorists ambush vehicles along Enugu Onitsha Expressway, abduct commuters near police checkpoints. Now, wow. You hear them? Panic as terrorists ambush vehicles along Enugu Onitsha Express Highway, then kidnap commuters, that is people where they use the road, near and where they kidnap them are very, very close to police checkpoints. I just thought to repeat that again so we'll understand. Insecurity worsens as Kogi orders closure of markets and motor parks. They made them close markets and motor parks because of insecurity. Bandits kill at least 3, abduct Catholic priests, 10 others in southern Kaduna. Let's see. Okay, yes, in southern Kaduna. But let's move on to other issues. Still on insecurity. Gunmen ambush vehicles. I think I've given you the story already. Bandits launch fresh attack on Koro community in Kwara. Leave one dead as residents flee, run for their life. Ghana recalls High Commissioner to Nigeria over alleged election malpractice rigging. They said the person will be the High Commission to Nigeria rig election. Now Oga Mahama say, oh yeah, come back first, come back home first. You rig election, your hand there for rigging, oh yeah, come back home, come. Abandon that job where you do, come back first. People say, I beg which time we will begin also look for people who get integrity like that to put for different positions. So we need men of integrity. Kwara, they operated freely for 10 hours, were a village head on bandits. And FG not sleeping, addressing insecurity takes time. As Tinubu talk, say, all this one that they talk, we know your plea, we understand on a cry, but federal government they sleep. Say to address insecurity, they take time. And people say, you not remember saying they take time when you blame Jonathan. He didn't remember then. He don't wear the shoe, and I want people to understand with you. Oga, do your work. Now we see Nigerians they tell them. Abia government, I don't tell you, say them blame. Say, na clerical error. Sorry. EFCC suspends top prosecutor Samuel Chime, and I don't tell you that because of this. They say, if they collect bribe, so because of that, make you wait first. Well, all of these and more stories, now episode will carry from the Demos. I'd like to bid you a warm welcome. Thank you very much for joining us. This is another beautiful day to bring on a matter them where they happen for inside Nigeria. Joining us from inside the studio now, Oga Prince Francis Chilaka. Good evening, sir. Thank you so much for joining us. Good evening, sir. Prince Francis Chilaka, sir.
Yes.
Good evening, sir. Welcome, sir.
How are you?
I'm very fine, thank you, sir.
All right, so
let's get started. I mean, matter plenty what we will talk about. I don't even know where we want to start from, where we want to stop, but there are some that are very, very embarrassing to even dive
who
into.
did embarrass them?
Let's start with the IPOB story very quickly because I mean that's the most hot matter we will get here. So the indigenous people of Biafra IPOB don't announce the total and permanent final cancellation of the Monday sit at home across all Southeast states, saying the directive came directly from its leader, Nmamdi Kanu. Now, in a statement dated February 8, 2026, and signed by IPOB spokesperson Emma Parker, the group said the decision takes effect from Monday, February 9, 2026, bringing an end to years of weekly shutdowns across the region. Now, according to the statement, the order was issued personally by Kanu, whom IPOB described as the supreme leader, with the intention of restoring normal economic and social life in the Southeast. Now, the directive comes from Oyendu Nmamdi Kanu himself, who has once again staked everything on the line to ensure that our children return to school every Monday and that our people go about their lawful businesses without fear, intimidation, or molestation. The statement said. IPOB stressed that the sit-at-home order is no longer in force and warned against any attempt to continue to enforce it. So anybody will continue to enforce them, not be our handy day again. No. There is no need, excuse, or justification to anyone to stay at home anymore on Mondays. The group declared. If I make a quickly go play your video, make it hear when they talk so that you will hear them from them directly.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, dear friends all over the world. Today is 7th of February 2026. This information is coming from the table of Triple General Igwe Botozo and Major General Gento de Yahoo and all the 40 state commanders in Biafra land. As the information reaching to my table to inform all Biafrans, order from the highest command of the Biafra Restoration Movement, Onyendu Nmamdi Kanu, has reached us that Monday sit at home is cancelled from today. Sit at home is a voluntarily and will not be enforced henceforth. Last Monday, sit at home February, 2nd of February, sit at home was a one-off event due to the Soludo's stupidity and will not happen again. Onitsha traders and Onitsha traders are Biafrans, and our children must return to school on Mondays, as commanded by our able leader, Mazi Nmamdi Kanu. Our job as guidance of Biafra land is to keep away Fulani terrorists from our land. That is the task our supreme leader, Mazi Nmamdi Kanu, gives us, and we must follow it to the letter. No enforcement will be tolerated henceforth. Our traders should decide if they want to open or not. Any intimidation from Soludo or any government will force us to react. If Soludo is as stupid to lock down any shop in Onitsha, his family, house, and that of his in-laws will be destroyed too. We are peaceful people defending our land from Janjaweed killers, and we make no apology for that. Igbo politicians and the Nigerians should pray nothing happens to our supreme leader, Oyendu Mazi Nmamdi Kanu, because we would bring every politician children down, and Nigeria will burn. Our people should see what is happening in Yoruba land as an example of what happens to a lazy, cowardly people. Our supreme leader, Mazi Nmamdi Kanu, secured our land by setting up Eastern Security Network, and we should all be grateful to him. And the Biafra Defense Forces, Biafra Liberation Army, Naval and Air Force hereby declare that it is our job to defend our land, and we must do it.
Prince Francis Chilakasa, a lot of people don't talk. In fact,
just play now.
Sorry, people don't disassociate themselves from this. Say this don't get anything to do with both Nmamdi Kanu and the IPOB itself. Say this one are just a group of charlatans who just won't call use Nmamdi Kanu to put up this order. While others, they also talk, say Nmamdi Kanu has not taken responsibility for the sit at home. And the original IPOB never even took responsibility for the sit at home. So why Ibi say now they can't take responsibility and they ask people, say they don't cancel the sit at home? So that
see, precious. Let's be honest with ourselves. You know, this whole thing about sit at home started like a child's play. And initially, when it was started, it was a voluntary act. The people said they wanted it. It was when the people now said that they wanted to sit at home on Mondays to observe and call for the release of Nmamdi Kanu. That was when IPOB came on board to help, in their words, to enforce it. Not to enforce, but they had to help encourage people to stay at home. While they were doing that, all these so-called charlatans, different no-state actors, took advantage of it and now said, okay, you guys must sit at home. I have always said that it was the wrong miscalculated and the most stupid act embarked upon by anybody in the South, it's by any group at all. Whatever name you want to call that group, it was the height of stupidity for us, for them to have started this nonsense. I am happy that Nmamdi Kanu has come to his senses, because a lot of people, everything that was done, all the atrocities committed, was heaped on him. So I'm happy he's now saying, oh, we're no longer the ones promoting the sit at home, and now we have called up sit at home. So now we are going to now know who is who in the Southeast. Because everybody has said, oh, it's IPOB that declared sit at home. So now IPOB has come out to say, we are no longer declaring sit at home. So let us know whether the unknown gunmen, whether Yahoo Yahoo or whatever they call him, Yahoo Yahoo or whatever, whether those who believe that they're the ones promoting ESN, whether all the criminals who have turned themselves into vigilantes and philanthropists in the Southeast, maybe they will not come out and say, no, we want to continue. It's good, it's good. It's good that we're beginning to hear IPOB saying that sit at home has ended. So let us now see who else will give an order for sit at home. It's a wonderful development, and I hope that the Southeasterners will take advantage of this and learn from it. They need to learn from it so that tomorrow, when such a thing rears its head, the people will come out and say, we do not want. Because that sit at home has affected not only economic life, it has affected the social life, it has affected the educational life of the young ones in Igbo land. So for me, like I've always said, and I will keep saying it, Biafra is an ideology. It depends on who is promoting it at a particular time. But those who are promoting it now, they have lost focus, they have become charlatans. So let us pray that peace and harmony, mutual respect will be restored in the Southeast.
All right, sir. So, I mean, the governor of the state, Soludo, don't come out and tell the traders, make them make sure so they go market tomorrow, go do their businesses, make them let their enterprise shine, make them not let any element stop them from shining. You talk about, say, last Monday we witnessed something historic and phenomenal in Anambra. For the first time in over 5 years, the heartbeat of commerce in Onitsha main market recovered its pulse strongly on a Monday. The streets came alive, the shops were open, traders and customers carried out their normal businesses. That's why they talk. For me, when people talk, say, that's it at home, that market opening was very clear.
No, precious. I think Charles Soludo needs to, Charles Soludo needs to begin to think as if there is no box. There is no political gains. He's not campaigning for a second term. So there is no election. He shouldn't use sit at home as an excuse not to give us the China or the Korea as he has promised us. What Charles Soludo should do now is, now that they're saying no more sit at home, let there be security. The people need security. Let them work and ensure that there is enough security to protect the people, their lives, and their properties. That is what Soludo should focus on, and not all this political grammar that is blowing everywhere. It is not helping him. It is not helping his administration. It is not helping a number of people.
All right, sir. Okay. Meanwhile, a lot of things they happen for Southeast, so we'll get back to, because just today they kidnap people for inside buses where they move from, between Onitsha and Enugu axis, and kidnapped, commuters, carry them, kidnap them. So people talk, say the insecurity what they talk about, they really spread, and indeed they don't enter inside Southeast, just like it is almost in everywhere in the country. Should people continue to be worried about this? And the Southeast governors themselves, what do they do to make sure they then properly secure their states?
Well, you see, the thing is, I've always said that the Southeast governors, the Southeast elders, they are all culpable for whatever nonsense is going on in the Southeast. We no longer have patriotic citizens. What we have are individuals who are seeking for their own stomach. They are greedy, seeking for their own bellies. They are greedy, seeking for how to eat off the national cake and then the state cake, so that they can remain afloat. The governors in the Southeast, all of them put together, they are not thinking as Igbos. They are not thinking as Southeasterners. They're just thinking as if they are not part of them. See, let me tell you, what they're doing in the Southeast is laughable. What the governors are doing, everybody's building an airport. And as dumb as they are not asking themselves questions. Do we have enough citizens to use these airports? Do we have enough aircrafts that will come down to these airports? And like I've said, and I'll keep saying it, the governors in the Southeast need to realize that train transportation, train, the means of transportation is what is in vogue. If they bring out money, each one of them bring out money from the monthly allocation and say, we want to network the Southeast with trade, I am telling you, that will be a life-lasting legacy they will leave. But they will not do it. They don't do anything that the poor people will benefit from. You're building planes, you're building airports. How many people are rich in the Southeast? How many of them? So please, the Southeast governors, you guys have not done well. You guys should eschew politics and sit down and now begin to map out how to provide security for the Southeast. It is something they need to do, and they need to do it urgently.
All right, sir. Okay, so let's move straight to other conversations, especially as it gets to do with electoral act, because that one don't cause a lot of drama as the PC back and forth don't do. Without going into too much, okay, Akpabio go to Akpabio today. Don't defend waiting make them no put electronic transmission of results for inside the electoral act. Say that because of say 9 states don't get access to internet, and you know what they go say they know say we get this kind of lapses of internet, then we still go put direct transmission of results, and then those states they will come they go figure the ability to use transmitter. Even though say somebody like David Mark don't tell himself that your work now to pass first of all pass the law, then allow INEC to be the one to know whether they will fit carry them or not. But it is not your responsibility to decide for INEC whether or not they can cope. Even though people too don't follow the lambast or say I wait to make it be say they really know one pass the law. Now because of say they know the way they say they won't do. While people like Aisha Yusufu, they blame, they talk to politicians where they talk, say, oh, all of us, about 80% of us, 85% of us, we voted for the electronic transmission. They say, you're telling us now, but we will not follow a different proceeding. Why don't you guys impeach Akpabio? Why are all of 80% of our way follow them? No become and saying, nah, lie, okay, you took out with him, we no vote for. So let's impeach him. But let me take your response to waiting on David Mark talk first. While I play his
who do you want to impeach Akpabio?
No vex. Make I play the video with David Mark talk first. No vex, sir. Thank you, sir.
Your Excellency, my brother and friend, a very distinguished senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, who is the president of the Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Godswill Akpabio. My friend and brother, the executive governor of Akwa Ibom State, the author of the book, and his dear wife, that there should be electronic transmission. Let INEC decide whether they can do or they cannot do it. Don't speak for INEC. Just speak for the National Assembly. And what the public wants is let there be electronic transmission. Now, if INEC cannot do it, it is in their own problem. That's their own problem. Not for you to speak for INEC. It's as simple as that. But that's just a by the way issue. It's not a serious issue, which we have raised. By the way, it's a tangential issue to.
All right, sir. So you don't hear waiting Oga Godswill Akpabio talk. Make her take your reaction, sir.
That one are below the belt too. That's what we call well-planned, orchestrated sub. You just sub them. The man take shovel, take pan, take broom, pack and they go in house.
So
you can see that your Senate President could not talk because he didn't expect it. But that is how you talk to politicians. This is the best way to pass a message. Subtle. And the message, said, see, you raised an issue. You said, why have they not impeached Akpabio? Who will come out to impeach Akpabio? Is it the Akpabio that sends prayer to their emails? Have you forgotten that from day one, Akpabio has been sending prayer points to the emails of these senators? So if he's the one sending prayer points to their emails, how do you want them to stop him? Have you ever seen somebody running away from the pastor that gives him prayer every morning? Nobody runs away. Whether the pastor is good, whether the pastor is sinful, so long as the pastor is praying for you every morning, you go welcome him. So the senators are happy with Akpabio because Akpabio is good at sending prayers to them. Akpabio behaves like our late head of state, Sunday Abacha, who has become our ancestor. Whenever we are hungry, whenever he sees that the economy is going down, he gives us more money. He says, take, people should come back. So that is the relationship between the senators and Akpabio. Akpabio is a good prayer warrior. He knows how to send prayer to the senators. And because he knows how to send prayer to them, they cannot impeach him. But that's by the side. Let me talk like David Mark. That's the material. But the truth of the matter is that, yes, we have a Senate that seems to not know what they're doing. We have a Senate that believes that it is what they want that they will force on the Nigerian people. We have a Senate where most of the senators who are there today did not go there by merit. They did not get there by people voting for them. They benefited from the flaw in the electoral bill. So how do you want a thief to support a law that will help in catching him? It's not possible now. So when people keep saying this translation, these senators, they know what they're doing. And because they know what they're doing everything possible to ensure that they come back. And some of them know that the only way they can come back is by rigging. So some of them has perfected the act of rigging. It is because of the perfection of the act of rigging. That is why a governor who has not performed in his state will be telling Mr. President, I will give you the entire state. They will vote for you. A state where the citizens are hungry. A state where the citizens don't have light. A state where the citizens don't have telecommunication. And you're telling Mr. President you will give him, you will bring all the people, as useless and stupid as the people are, they will complain for Mr. President. It shows you that it's all about the fact that they want to perfect the act of rigging the election. Don't forget that propaganda is a weapon in politics. Already some states are telling you, we'll give you 3 million votes, we'll give you 2.5 million votes. They are setting the grounds for rigging the election. And that is as simple as ABCD.
So make I quickly tell you what in Ume talk, or Senator Ume talk, we make how you share yourself to talk what should talk about impeaching Akpabio if they wanted to. That's not what's in talk. Watch out.
Demanded for electronic transmission of results. Law is not made by the National Assembly alone. It's also made carrying the citizens along. That is why no law can be passed in Nigeria without subjecting it to public hearing. The essence of public hearing is to bring the public interest in the matter. It will be debated exhaustively, so that when you are passing a law, you're passing a law that is in tandem with the aspirations of the Nigerian people
and the interests of
the country. So if you go and do otherwise, you generate the tension what is playing out has generated now. So I think that all hopes are not lost yet, because the issue of going back to 2022 Electoral Act that talked about transfer, it was not the case when the senators discussed it exhaustively. You know, it was rejected. They said electronic transmission, all divides. So you cannot come now and do it, maybe, I don't know the word that would be appropriate, but put it in a manner that the senators will be taken unawares. And it was not debated, because we had ample time to debate this thing during closed session. And everybody aired his view, and over 85% of the senators agreed to electronic transmission of results. So now, we didn't finish yesterday. That is why this is the way God works. We didn't come back to approve and adopt the votes proceedings of yesterday before proceeding to, before adjourning and handing the matter over to conference committee. You know, it is the approved votes and proceedings that will be taken to the committee for harmonization. So we have not finished. And I believe that by the time we come back to approve that vote and proceedings, because that day the question will be put: is this a true reflection of what will?
So Prince Francis Tilaka. And then, I actually say for say if on the talk, say 80% of on or more than 80% of on a vote for electronic transmission. And I notice say input waiting no day inside it on a vote and on a no debate on them out there. Then what are you people doing? Why are you guys complaining to us on TV without
Pre-
doing? I feel like say this
Precious.
assembly they scared of Akpabio, sir.
No, precious. The man you have as your Senate President, Senator Goswell Akpabio, was he elected by the senators?
Was he not?
Don't forget that he was imposed on them by the executive. You know the role Mr. President played in ensuring that Akpabio becomes the Senate President. And you know what Akpabio said from day one, which was the most embarrassing thing any leader should say. He said, whatever Mr. President brings, even when just conceiving it, it will be approved. Has not been what has been playing out. The National Assembly, as we know, has been captured. Just as the judiciary has also been captured. So who will initiate the impeachment? We're talking about the electoral law. Everybody seems to have forgotten about the tax bill. That even the House of Rep and the Senate and the people, the committee they set up, have come out to confirm that what we submitted to Mr. President and what came back as a law is not the same. So we have a government of manipulation. The government is not just manipulating the people, the government is also manipulating the process. That's the unfortunate part of it. So it's not to say that the senators cannot impeach him.
So why are they sounding helpless? Exactly what are you saying?
Because they are well compromised. They are well compromised. It is when you are compromised that you begin to sound helpless. By the time they start to talk about impeachment, then the government will begin to talk about where have you guys kept the money given to you for constituency projects? What has happened to the money? That time you will now start hearing, accusation of senators collecting money from the MDAs. So there's a lot of dirty deals that some of these senators have put their hands in that has made it impossible for them to speak out on the floor of the assembly. So what is what it is right now. What they are doing is to tell the people that look, we that were representing you, our hands are tied, but this is the truth of what transpired. So whatever the people decide to do with it is not left for the people.
All right, but the Senate President don't call for emergency plenary session on Tuesday so that they will sit down and talk about this matter. Do you see them revisiting? Well, of course, they say they never even finish the matter. But do you see the other senators' insistence on electronic transmission and making it mandatory?
No, the truth of the matter is that they have to revisit it. If you don't revisit that issue, you're going to have chaos in your hands. And I can assure you that knowing President Bola Tinubu, with few months to the election, he will not want to have chaos in his hands. So, yes, he will not want to have chaos. But the thing is that if anybody is saying, oh, because of network, satellite phones cover everywhere. Nothing stops INEC from making available satellite phones.
People don't even promise that they go give INEC, they go donate Starlink, give INEC. Starlink get network anywhere for Nigeria. Say they go donate Starlink, give them. Nigerians don't donate Starlink.
Nigerians are not smiling. See, the only thing that can develop
determine free and fair election will do it.
The only thing that can bring development to Nigeria is the first step. And that first step is free, fair, credible elections. Once that is done, Nigeria will be on the path to prosperity, and development.
Hmm. All right, sir. So let's see what happens on Tuesday because we wait for Tuesday. Make we see as first it will take B. So legal consultant Nmamdi Kanu, Oga Aloy Jimako, don't criticize those who they call for Peter Obi to abandon in 2027 presidential ambition. And Jimako described the call as cowardly and duplicitous. I say call him. Jomako claims that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu controls the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) and security agencies and should not be used to discourage Obi's aspirations. So because of some things, Tinubu they control everything. So now want make Obi they discouraged. Not gonna not do like that. He no good. Not gonna leave and make it do it he won't do. He's a Nigerian who's entitled to participate in the election in any capacity when he fits.
Well, anybody that is asking to be to forget his ambition, I would say this: that person does not know who Peter Obi is, and that person does not understand why Peter Obi is called the Rock, Nkume, Okute. That's the truth. So for me, I think that it's not even a subject for discussion. Peter Obi's ambition should not be something that should be discussed, or we should break our heads for, or we should bother ourselves for. No. Peter Obi's ambition is sacrosanct. It is stamped, sealed, and delivered. So there's nothing anybody can do about it. He will contest the election, whether they like it or not. So anybody that is saying that is asking Peter Obi not to contest, then that person is not a patriotic citizen.
All right, sir. So let's move on to something where big thing happened really very scary. What I would like make we talk about. Okay, by the way, before we talk about that, just to let you know, say our President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, go to depart Nigeria after 8 days when he don't spend for Nigeria. He go to go back. He go to go UK. He say Oga Charles, the King of United Kingdom, invite him. Accompany. So he will go with our First Lady, our dear, very respectable First Lady, and then go together. So the royal family post and say the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Mr. Bola Tinubu, accompanied by the First Lady, Mrs. Oluremi Tinubu, has accepted an invitation from His Majesty the King to pay a state visit to the United Kingdom. That's so the news announced them. So this one people don't even use a mock Peter. They say, "Ooh, they don't invite you before." So they say this one will happen on Wednesday, the 18th of April of March. State visit to the kingdom from Wednesday 18th of March to Thursday 19th of March next month. So the king and queen will host the state visit at Windsor Castle. So this one don't raise a lot of problems. Because the last time when a Nigerian president was invited to the palace was, I think that was a Babangida, I think so. You don't say well. So then talk say
Precious, don't go. Precious.
Sir?
Inviting the Bola Ahmed Tinubu, to me, is not solving the problem of Nigeria.
Mm.
It is not. It's I could say it's more like diplomatic relationship. And so for those who are throwing subs at Peter Obi, I think whoever is throwing sub at Peter Obi over this must need a mental health check. That person must have a problem with his head. His head is not functioning well. People don't realize that Peter Obi is a private citizen. He's not the president of this country. So whatever Mr. President will enjoy by virtue of his office, Peter Obi is not enjoying it. So anybody that is saying that, the king invited Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and why have they not? Peter Obi, is he the president? When you want to compare people, you compare people of the same rank. You don't compare someone that is up there with someone that is below, and you say you're making comparison. You must be very stupid to do that. Very, very stupid and insane to do that. It is not everything about Bola Ahmed Tinubu. People will start talking about Peter Obi. They should allow Peter Obi. Let Peter Obi be on his own. The man is working towards ensuring that 2027 election that he wins. So they should leave him alone. He is not the president of Nigeria. And I don't know why anytime Peter Obi says something, everybody in the presidency will start shaking. But when other people say things, they ignore them. It simply shows you that, the presidency, as it is scared of the personality of Peter Obi. They're really scared, and they want to do everything humanly possible to ensure that he does not have a platform. But they have failed because he won't have more than one platform. In the coming days, you will see that the coalition, people will join the coalition, more people will join because of the presence of Peter Obi.
All right, so before we enter inside other issues, we get to do with international conversations. Make a quickly play a few things so if see happen recently. One, now the one we get to do with Tambowa and a friend, Gandiji. When Gandiji tell her make you sit down for chair, we get they say make you sit down this side, we carry this plan. You know, we sit down. They say no, you don't sit down for this. And people are like, you think your politicians are enemies? Irrespective of their party affiliations, are still friends. Eventually, he starts on it.
This is not news, precious.
No. So people can talk. No. The point is that whilst it be say with the things say these people they try to ensure all the defeats to, why Nigerians want change by all means from the status quo, from waiting we get now. Meanwhile, these people then waiting power across board, they be friends. I mean, here they be not
Precious, please calm down. So in politics, there is no permanent enemy, no permanent friend. What you have is permanent interest. So what you see playing now, that is where the Nigerian people are dumb and stupid. That is my problem with Nigerians. They are dumb and stupid. They allow these mediocres, these greedy, these selfish politicians to play with their integrity. The politicians don't care about you and I. They don't care about the ordinary Nigerians. What they care about is what they're going to put in their pocket. How they're going to, line up their stomach with what they've stolen from the people. So any Nigerian you see fighting for a politician, that Nigerian is a stupid person. Because at the end of the day, they'll dine together, they'll eat together, they'll play golf together, they'll go for car race together, they'll travel abroad together. On whose account? On the account of the masses. You saw what happened when, was it yesterday or the day before yesterday, when Matawale's sons got married or his children got married. You saw the people that attended it. Even the ones who have sworn to be their worst enemies. They were there. So let us stop deceiving ourselves and believing that the politicians, they hate themselves because of what they see. Everything you see politicians say on social media, on press conference, is balabu, balaba. That is what it is. Nothing else. So nobody should take them serious. You saw the celebration of Imo State at 50. Didn't you see Mekahedo and Hope Uzodinma holding hands and doing as if they have been friends, as if they're boyfriend and girlfriend? So please, second base.
All right, sir. So you know what's very important way we say Agolai make we talk about, and what's Nigerians on the frown at very heavily. So before now, we know say a particular U.S. senator will be BLASTS first lady. BLASTS the president Bola Ahmed Tinubu about the $9 million we set aside to use according to them to use propaganda on to use kill the narrative of Christian genocide. But not only that, this congressman now has gone as far as showing, in fact, embarrassing Nigeria, stating that Nigerian's president sent in wife Oluremi Tinubu to Washington, make she can't lie and cover up against the Christian genocide where they happen for inside Nigeria. A United States lawmaker, law rep, Chris Smith, now talked this one. He criticized Bola Ahmed Tinubu for sending his wife to Washington, D.C. to refute and cover up Christian genocide in Nigeria. He made the statement in a video, of course, shared from a broadcast journalist platform. Now, if you remember, Madam Tinubu may actually go to United States. Some people they talk say, oh, and then the U.S. President Donald Trump, hail Howard, was a very, very responsible woman, very good woman, and all that. He passed on. But then again, this particular journalist who visited interview this congressman did say something. He said that the reason why he did not allow that the president's wife, that is our first lady, had tried to get him to interview her on his platform, but he never wanted her to use his platform to come and push propaganda against Christian genocide. And that was very insulting for us to hear about these two people say about our country. I mean, make I play the video where the lady talk about. So this one don't raise a lot of, people don't they talk, say, how more can we embarrass Nigeria, especially considering that this happened immediately after our first lady, they tell Nigerians how their people use the appreciated abroad pass for the country, how Nigerians don't appreciate their own people. And now you hear how some men abroadians are now also interpreting her characterization, who she be. Let me take a listen to waiting then talk. Make I know whether you will perhaps, see waiting what they talk about.
A growing trend all over the world, including in the United States, but especially in the Middle East. It's been there for a long time. That has gotten worse. Hamas is the quintessential example of that hatred for Jews and for Christians. And then you have a situation like in Nigeria, where more Christians have been killed there than anywhere else in the world. And you have a government in Nigeria that practices denial, a culture of denial. No, nothing to see here. They even hired D.C. a big firm here in D.C.
The First Lady was here. She was here this week, and in fact, they wanted to come on the program to talk about religious freedom. And I said, I'm not going to give them. I'm happy to meet with anybody.
Same here.
But I'm not going to give them a platform to cover up what they're doing in Nigeria.
And that's just what it is, a massive cover-up. I met with a big delegation that came in, and it went for almost 2 hours. And the Attorney General of Nigeria said that this Bishop Anabe, who I had at 2 of my hearings, you were there.
He testified right next to me.
Right next to you. A wonderful man. He said, he's a liar. And I said, whoa, stop that. And then they always do the thing, my wife's a Christian, or I'm a Christian, and my husband, it's like, don't tell me that. What is happening as churches are being firebombed, people are being killed in cold blood, abductions, which is very, very big there in Nigeria, of Christians especially, but others, but especially Christians. And there's this assault on faith that has gotten worse. Obama did nothing. Boko Haram flourished under his 8 years in office, and now
it was your persistent advocacy that actually eventually got them labeled as a terrorist organization.
Yes. For 3 years we tried, Tony, and I had hearings on it. We had people give very, very compelling testimony as to what Boko Haram was doing, and finally, on the day we were marking up my bill to tell the administration you have to declare them a FTO, foreign terrorist organization, that day, that hour, basically, they said, they're an FTO.
Yeah.
And it was like 3 years ago, we could have been working to find out where their sources of funding and weapons.
Before they kidnapped many of the girls.
That's right. The Chibok girls and many of the others were all. And that continues to this day.
Let me ask you about that, Congressman Smith, because as you say that it's gotten worse, you've got these dictators and tyrants in different parts of the world. My experience when I was chairing the USERF Commission, going to different countries, is that many of these bad actors have seen what's happened in America over the last 2 decades, where we have gone from one administration that actually, like we have right now, that protects religious freedom, to one that doesn't care about religious freedom and promotes abortion and LGBTQ. And so they just want to wait out. So we're not having that persistent, consistent presence of influence on the world.
Well, that's a very keen observation, because I have found that you even hear that from some of the diplomats when you talk to them. He'll be gone. Trump will be gone in 2 years. And then potentially could come in a very, very liberal Democrat like the governor of California, who couldn't care less about religious freedom. I remember I had hearings.
Well, it's the Democratic Party doesn't care about it.
There are many. There are
it's very clear.
Most of them don't.
You're right. But when you come to their priorities and their platform,
it's not there.
You don't see it there.
Right. And, we saw it with Barack Obama. I would continually say, the International Religious Freedom Act, authored brilliantly by Frank Wolf, it says you must provide us with countries of particular concern, countries that are really doing bad things that could be sanctioned. And we wouldn't even get the list year in and year out.
But that legislation also says that religious freedom will be a priority in our foreign policy.
Exactly what it says. A core. Absolutely, it says that. And, it's been in effect since 1998. I'm happy to say that the Republicans have very faithfully administered it or carried it out.
So the situation over time has gotten worse.
Yeah.
We see that we have aggressive action being taken by this administration. In fact, troops being sent to Nigeria.
Yeah.
Do you know what their role will be there?
Well, in the past, there has been an attempt to try to train the Nigerian military.
All right. Well, he did say quite a lot there. And in the process, the journalist, whom I believe is, I think, Tony Perkins did say that that our first lady wanted him to interview her, but he rejected it because she was going to use his platform to, continue the propaganda against Christian genocide. So basically, these people now, they talk and say Christians, they die for Nigeria. And instead of our government to do something about our president, they send our first lady, make it come like, say Christian genocide, no day. And then our first lady also, they go around US to also want to do the same thing. Is that not a bit embarrassing or too much for Nigeria at this time when we still there for the spotlight for this kind of things?
Precious, let us be honest with ourselves. Your leaders, especially those in power, they have this belief, or they have this concept in their mind and in their head that the world revolves around them. They just believe that the way they see the world is the way everybody should see it. First and foremost, when everybody had given up hope, don't forget, that was when Trump struck 25th of December. The next thing we heard after that was that the government was, releasing funds to carry out propaganda. And you ask yourself, why would a government that believes deep down that there is no genocide happening amongst or to its people, why would such a government dedicate scarce resources to use and sell a narrative? It is only when you know that the information that people have is true, and you want to change that information, you want to lie to the people, you want to convince the people otherwise, that is when you begin to lobby. You do not lobby if you are sure of the truth. So the first mistake this government made was to initiate this lobbying process. Your people are saying that we're being killed by a particular set of people. That they are not killing us because we're not having the same color of skin. They're not killing us because of difference in language, but that they're killing us because of we have a problem or we have a differential in religion. What would a sensible government do? The sensible government would have sat down and reached out to the religious leaders in the north, starting with the Sultan of Sokoto, because he's a mouthpiece of the Muslims, and got to him to talk to his people in the language they understand. That would have been the first solution. Then the second solution is to ensure that you do everything possible as a government to take back those who are already living in IDP camps back to their ancestral homes and protect them and make sure that nothing happens to them. Now, when you do these things, when you follow these steps, people will believe that, okay, these people are ready to protect and preserve the dignity of their people. No. What are they doing? They're truncating everywhere, trying everything possible to sell a wrong narrative. I mean, the wife of the president, as far as I'm concerned, yes, Donald Trump recognized her as the wife of the president because to Donald Trump, she has no political powers. But the mistake they made was that they didn't realize that the Americans have seen through them. The Americans are not Nigerians that pretend that live in denial. The Americans have seen through those who have come to America, and they know that the reason why they have come is because of what? Lobbying, propaganda. If only the wife of the president and the presidency would sit back and reflect over what has played out in America. If they will sit back and reflect over what this journalist said. I mean, it's the most embarrassing thing for anybody to say. Not just to an individual, but to the wife of the president. What they have done is to tell you that everybody in the cabinet of Mr. President is a liar. Because if they can refuse the wife of the president, who is not a politician, from having audience with them, so tell me, who else would they listen to?
But she's a politician.
No. According to your Nigerian constitution, she has no political office.
Right now, she was a politician before her husband became.
We're not talking of she was, we're talking of right now. In this dispensation, she has no political office. But then, what is there? She's a wife, she has been disgraced, but it is not only her that the disgrace has rubbed on. The disgrace has rubbed on Mr. President, it has rubbed on the Senate President. It has rubbed on everyone who has said that there is no genocide in Nigeria, including your men of God, including some of your pastors and your bishops who have come out to say there is no genocide. Every one of them should hide their faces in shame. Because this is the height of it. This kind of embarrassment is an embarrassment that if I was the wife of the president, this trip they said they are going to UK, I will not go.
Because I they look at from that level, for people to don't see this, to come talk, say, what makes you really come? This not be Nigerians, they talk about. You see, saying a congressman reason. Say the reason why makes you come UK, now to come do propaganda against Christian narrative, the narrative of
Precious. What they're trying to tell you is that whatever amount of money you have paid for lobbying, that money now free lunch. Because people are taking positions. And you know the way they think is not as dull as Nigerians think. I believe that a lot of them are critical thinkers. And they have thought it through to say, why would these people be spending money that they don't even have? The money they cannot use to rebuild back the villages that have been run over by these bandits and these terrorists. The money they could have used to provide good roads. The money they could have used to provide electricity. Because every now and then, our national grid is collapsing. The money they should have used to provide good medical care. Buy drugs, make sure that drugs are available in the health sectors. They're not doing it. But they're using the money to go and bribe. Are they not ashamed? And by the way, who do you want to even bribe? Knowing that the American system, don't forget that the problem Atiku had in America had to do with bribe. You remember? The problem I had with the congressman was bribe. The American system is such that if you are given a bottle of wine, it must be recorded that the bottle of wine was given to you for free. So this $9 million or $9,000, $9 million that they spent so far, any member of the Senate that you give money to How would they record it? In what way? How would they record it? Because they are everything about their own accountability is open. So how do you want to record it? You record it as PR by the federal government of Nigeria for me to speak against genocide.
I was also going to say that, and then for
it is the mindset of Nigerians. No, I'm coming. It is that silly mindset of your political class, that thumb in their head that they don't think straight, because they believe in stealing, they believe in corruption. So it is that mindset of corruption that they have carried to America on another level. After all, you heard your former Attorney General telling you how his friends dashed him money. How they gathered and dashed him money. For what? In America, when people that gather and dash you money, you pay tax on it. You will pay tax on it. So the congressman and the general, they know. You think it's this Nigeria where they gather people and give them brown envelopes and they're all rejoicing? No accountability, no transparency, no integrity, like somebody will say.
So, I see, not be just waiting that U.S. Congressman Smith talk, 90 painful. The fact that the journalist himself said he refused to give our first lady his platform to use to push the narrative.
Precious, sir? It shows you that there are people who still have conscience and there are people who are professionals in what they do. That is what it means. It's not just now, it's also something for every one of us to learn from. Those of us that have a relationship with the media, we should learn from it. Those in the mainstream media, in the public, in the print media, they should learn from it. Those in the electronic media, they should learn from it. You must be careful of who you bring to your platform. You must be careful of who you make your platform available to. It's a lesson for every one of us to learn from. You don't bring somebody with questionable character to your platform. It will ruin your platform. So the journalist has looked at it from that perspective, that if I bring this woman onto my platform and she comes to do the propaganda she wants to do, I'm going to lose face.
All right. So
that integrity that the man has, he does not want to let it go.
All right. So another angle to this conversation, as immediately our first lady, they recognized by Donald Trump, the story go everywhere. Tabloid newspapers everywhere. Don't they carry on? First lady of Nigeria is a very respectable woman. Donald Trump.
Is she an audience with Donald Trump?
Sorry, sir. No, sir. I'm coming now. I'm coming, sir. So with all of this, what thing they do? They just cut out the part of the video where Donald Trump says she be a respectable woman. They forget to cut out this part. Say, but when they kill Christians from Nigeria, and it's very, very bad. And they know I'll come for them. And I'll come for them.
You can't do that. You know about that? They were killing Christians. So you can't do that. When Christians come under attack, they know they're going to be attacked violently and viciously by President Trump. I know it's not a nice thing to say, but that's the way it is.
All right. So perhaps this part of the video was just a bit too uncomfortable for us to also join together that video too.
Precious.
Sir?
Those who propagate lies would only look for the part where they feel their lie has been covered. Everybody was posting, how Donald Trump praised what the president, the wife of the president, and all of that. But nobody is ready to show you this. That is number one. Number two, I hear that it's also in the tabloid. Some of the tabloid have carried it, that the wife of the president sought an appointment to meet with Donald Trump and was turned down.
Yeah, she did.
Yes.
She wanted to meet with the U.S. president.
Exactly.
Since she's not a politician, in what capacity, sir?
When they don't praise her, you don't see Lizard. If Lizard far from up, reach down, it look like nobody. He goes out say, I am the king of the jungle. So the thing is this, between the president, between his wife, between his cabinet, they know that something is wrong, but they don't want to accept it. They know that something is wrong. And that is why they keep pushing this narrative that, oh, it is not only Christians that are being killed, even Muslims are being killed. Good, we agree. Let us even follow that narrative, as stupid as we are in Nigeria, and as stupid as they want us all to be. So let us follow the narrative that Muslims are being killed. Who are the ones killing these Muslims? Who are the ones burning the mosque? Are they Christians? And why are they killing these Muslims? Look at what has happened in Kwara State, where the figure keeps going up on a daily basis. If you remember, the governor of Kwara State came out and said it was more like, in his own way, it was more like only Muslims, because they refused to accept. But the information coming out from that vicinity shows that there are even more Christians killed than the Muslims.
Well, I don't know if the Christians were more than the Muslims, but I do know that there were lots of Christians. In fact, according to what's in the reports where News Central covered, there was a particular church that had Christians in it that was burnt down, and they say till now they don't fit ascertain the number of the people who died for inside that church.
You know that churches are, you know that poverty and hunger and depression has turned the churches to miniature hospitals, to healing homes. So when you open your door, and it says a church, give it 5 minutes, 10 minutes, the crowd will fill up. Let them just say you have done one miracle. You have raised the cripple. Or somebody that was falling down, the pastor caught the person and says the Holy Spirit told him to catch the person. That church will be filled up. So you can imagine, I don't understand. You can imagine what it feels like for people. The last time I heard that people were burnt in churches, I heard about it in South Africa. I heard about it when America was still fighting themselves with the Indians. And then we're talking about that in the 21st century. You lock up a building with people inside, you set it ablaze. Precious, do you understand the trauma? Do you understand the cries, the pains people will go through before they finally stop crying? And these are the same people that you have people coming out to say, negotiate with them. Treat them like your brothers. Treat them like your friends. Are we insane in this country? Are we mad? Are we stupid? I mean, I really don't know what to say anymore. But the truth of the matter is that it has gotten to that point where the government must begin to allow everybody to carry arms. Yes.
All right, sir. So moving on, let's quickly also show you some things where we say happen. In fact, some of the complaints where we say some other international community they get about Nigerians, some missionaries, some foreigners, we don't come to Nigeria since the week of this cry about Christian genocide, don't go to different areas and they saw for themselves. This will not be them here. You know, say these people then the world generally will always seek for answers amidst waiting with the call propaganda. So as we feel, say the US they push their propaganda of Christian genocide, and our government they push the propaganda say no Christian genocide. There are people who will be seeking the truth, and there are people who's been on ground in Nigeria to seek for the truth. Now, this is an example of one of them. This young man will do this.
Right now, I'm standing at what used to be a church in a camp for persecuted Christians in Nigeria. And my message to the American church is clear. These Christians, these martyrs, Nigeria, the land of the martyrs, we have so much to learn from them. Every single person I've talked to who lost their family members. I talked to a lady yesterday who lost her husband and her son a month ago. And their response is all the same. I've talked to dozens of them now. They all say the same things. They all say, we wish forgiveness for the people that killed our family. We wish forgiveness for the people that are terrorizing us. And we are so grateful for beans. We're so grateful for rice. We're so grateful that we have shelter. We have roofs on our heads where we used to have to go into the bush to sleep at night because we were so fearful. You see, we've been given so much in America. And we need to realize that these are our brothers and sisters in Christ that are suffering, that are hurting right now. And when we understand that, we move with compassion, knowing that they're our own body. And if our own body is being shot and persecuted and displaced, so are we. So it's time for us as Christians in the West to step up. It's time for Washington to step up. This is horrific, the things I've seen here. It's time for us to do what we can, each of us, the church. I'll put a link in my bio for Global Christian Relief, the ministry I'm here with right now, because there are very tangible needs that need to be met. And if they're being hurt, if they don't have food, if they don't have shelter, if they're being terrorized, we are their body with them. So,
Prince Francis Chilakasa, now this is a total stranger. We come on missionary to Nigeria and see for himself. In fact, it is shock I'm saying person wouldn't kill a family, clear a family, they talk say, may them forgive the people who kill their family. That it looks like Nigerians are a great species of Christians, like will be different species of Christians.
No, precious, not be saying Nigerians are special species of Christians. The Christianity you see in Nigeria and the width with which the Christianity in Nigeria is so strong is simply because of bad governance and poverty. Because, see, this is why a government will build a borehole and they will invite the whole community and the whole community will clap. When you leave the shores of Nigeria, you find out that the things we see here that we pray for, they are available outside Nigeria. You have light 24 hours, good medical service, good roads. What else? The life is so easy. So the things we sit down in churches to pray for are the things that other governments, people with common sense, have provided for their citizens. So the things you would go, instead of you to now begin to pray for God to give you long life, the system automatically gives you the long life. Instead of you to be praying to God, oh God, please, my daughter is sick. Please, the system gives you that. You don't need to pray for it. And because the system provides this thing, people no longer disturb God. So people now spend their time and energy looking for livelihood to be able to take care of themselves and their families. But in Nigeria, you'll find out that people don't have jobs, they don't have money to eat, they don't have money to go to the hospital, they don't have a roof over their head, they only find solace in the church. And so the men of God are so messed up with their head in such a way that people no longer think straight. That is why somebody will tell you, oh, you killed my daughter, you killed my son, I forgive you. They're not Pope. The late Pope Francis. They're not Pope. I mean, the Pope John Paul II, late. They're not. So it is the fact that a lot of men of God has joined in twisting the minds of the Nigerian people. That is why they will tell you, pray for your leaders. And they say it with boldness. These are some leaders who have not provided what they're supposed to provide for the people. These are leaders who steal from the people. And somebody will sit somewhere and say, pray for your leaders. And then what do you expect? But these people asking you to pray for your leaders, have they challenged the leadership to say, why are you not providing the necessities of life for these people? So it's just that That's Nigerians are in the state of helplessness. And when you're in that state, you just like, what can I do?
All right, sir. So very quickly, make I just give you a little bit of footage of what happened for inside Woro community. This is the aftermath of the disaster for inside Woro community for Kwara State, and it is so sad to see the level of devastation ABC occur for this community. Very very sad. This narrating ABC the remaining of it. You can see how the attack is affect them. You know, some people even abandon their businesses. They said these people they came in bikes in their numbers. Then plenty were. Say they follow bike, they carry bike.
Here we bury the mass burial we did because of resources. So here we bury 50, then the other one 27. So there are other graveyard. There the one Christian they're using here. There's other one in the down there. There are two.
When I saw motorbike, a mass coming, three people on army uniform, all of them with rifle, AK-47. They are passing. I was are these soldiers? Not until when I saw one with this wrapper that was wrapped on their head, I have to run and hide myself. In fact, they started chasing people, catching people, tied them by their back like this, putting them like in some of layers. In fact, before 30 minutes, we just hear pa 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 pa. They are shooting them on their heads. One of my son is abducted. My friend has been killed, and my family about 12 were killed. Yeah, 12 were killed in my family. So all in all, what we buried now from yesterday to today, we buried about 178 now, and we are still searching for more.
Wow. Okay. All right. Prince Francis Chilakasa. Meanwhile, this now place where we say our vice president supposed to get to yesterday. He didn't get there, and he just stopped at the state capital, Kwara State, because the governor, they say the governor, according to them, say the governor they no go fit come back. But this now the level of things that happen. By the way, attacks still they happen for inside Nigeria. It never finished because attacks still happen for another community for inside Kwara State again. You did for the headline of the news the way this I give.
You know, when Pastor Dachomo was screaming and shouting and crying that he is getting fed up and tired of burying people. Some so-called stupid APC errats. They said the man was just seeking for attention. Now, it is no longer in the north. It is a Kwara in Yoruba land. I haven't heard them talk yet.
This is sad.
So what in Nigeria, what we do is each day we wake up, we just want to hear what happened last night.
So the fact that these people were not even expecting you, they were going about their, daily services, normal activities, and then boom, these guys just breaking on them.
Now, Precious, one question that has been begging for an answer. Are you trying to tell me that in that whole community, there's no police post? Is that what you're trying to tell me? Then how do they vanish within the trick of an eye? How do they vanish? And nobody knows. Are they spirits? It simply shows you that there is something wrong with intel gathering in Nigeria.
But sir, no vex. So I think make I ask a question. All these people now where BC they face these things. As you don't reach Kwara communities like this, you reach Kogi communities like this. We hear say they don't stop market and some motor parks now from operating for now because of security scare. So they don't they reach southeast. No vex. Now so all these people won't use go to APC for 2027. Abi will something automatically change?
Who won't vote them?
Um,
Why do
um,
you think? Why do you think your Senate President on his own is trying to insist that there should not be electronic transmission of results? You heard what Wike is saying to you. Wike has come out to say that you do not need the governors to win the election.
yes. No 001. We get all the other O's.
Good. So if you don't need the governors to win the election, why are they all decamping into? Of what use are they? Of what use? So what that implies is that a Wike and others, they know how to rig the election, and they're banking on it. So that's why they're telling you that they do not need the governors. Shame on all the governors who have left their parties and they come to APC. Because now Wike has told you that you're not relevant. Your decamping is useless. Your 001 is thrown to the dogs. That's what it means. So we have a big problem in our hands. And that problem is a problem that the Nigerian security architecture has been bastardized. It has been bastardized. The people no longer believe in the government. I keep telling you, I said Nigeria has gotten everything about a failed state has enveloped Nigeria. The only thing that is keeping Nigeria together is the resilience of the people. The day the people decide to say enough is enough, you will understand the meaning of a failed state.
All right, Nigerians phone lines are open. Let's have you jumping on the conversation. 08170294077. That's the number to call. Or you follow the link on the pinned post and it will bring you straight into the studio to participate on the show. 08170294077. That is the number to call. And in all of this, the federal government don't address the security situation. They don't talk, say they need to sleep. Say they address the situation, just that insecurity issues takes time to resolve. Person wey dey put mouth for president na him talk this one. Most years, Issa Niniola na him talk this one. Say so make Nigerians just be patient. Things wey get with security and all that, it dey take time to resolve. So it requires a little bit of patience to handle.
Yeah, I mean, what else do you expect them to tell you? Since 25th of November, when American government sent their missiles, what is it that the Nigerian government has done? All we keep hearing every day is that they have killed some bandits. But nobody's telling us those people who get released, who settles them? Do they release them for free? Is it that the government is not paying ransom? And if you are releasing them for free, why are you not arresting the people who kidnapped them?
Like the
Why are you
Kaduna
not
people wey
arresting
dey
them?
kidnap, they don't release all of them. Come wear them ashebi, they come wear yellow ashebi, all of them.
They should continue.
All right, Princess Chilaka, very quickly. Phone lines are open, Nigerians. Before I go straight to the phone line, I like you to respond to something. So, I did say that the kindly be on the line and wait for me, please. I'll bring you in after this conversation, please. All right. So, very quickly, for inside Edo State during December, someone was kidnapped. Two brothers, they were all medical doctors, were kidnapped, and one of them, they shoot them, die. They shoot and die. The two of them are doctors. Then the brother, they can't release them after he paid 50 million naira. Did you know that the people who kidnapped the guy can't carry their pikin, can't come this guy hospital when they work for treatment? The guy can't recognize them. Now police don't they don't hand them over to police. See their pieces, see where police they interrogate them as in
Be looking at me now. You, they look me. Hey, they look me. Look me.
All right, all right, Prince Francis Chilakasa. Let me take your thoughts on this very quickly.
First
Before I
and
begin.
foremost, these ones I don't look like Fulani also. I can't hear you.
Sorry, you don't look like who?
Fulanis.
Let me play their face again so that you see them very well. Let's look at them.
Be looking at me now. Show me. You, they look me. Hey, they look me. Look me.
Well, you know, the thing is, they're even lucky.
Be looking at me now.
They are lucky that
You, they
the
look me.
doctor
Hey, they look
got
me.
them arrested.
Look me.
Because even now some other people, now they will kill them.
That's what some people were even agitating.
Looking at
People
me.
said, and why didn't they just do the needful?
Yes,
Why did they send them over to the police?
because he who comes to your house, anybody who comes to your house with a knife or a gun to steal, to kidnap you, he has one ambition. It's either you die or he dies. When you can see the irony of life, you take life when you want to save your own life. You want to save your children's life. See the wickedness of man. You value yourself. You value your life, but you don't value the life of other people.
All right, sir. Let me quickly
And you
go.
have no justification for the things you are doing.
All right, sir. Hello, good evening, and welcome.
Yeah, hello, precious evening.
Evening, welcome. Marvelous. Please go ahead very quickly, sir.
Yes, you're right. You're right. Good evening. Good evening, Prince Chilaka. Good evening. Good to see you once again.
I agree with you.
Go ahead. He can respond to you. Go ahead.
Hello.
Go ahead. He's responding. Go ahead, please.
My first question to Prince Chilaka is this. This is a PDP, for the PDP issue, this is a court case, PDP, yeah. The PDP were the one that took the case, yeah, asking the INEC to recognize the chairman, right? To recognize the officers that were nominated at the Ibadan convention about. But why did the court then nullify the convention? But there was the applicant did not ask for that. Why did the court wait for instead of saying, okay,
but Mr. Marvelous, you know that the PDP conversation is not in our conversation, so let's not be dragging ourselves back. To help our analysts too, because it's not part of the conversation that we're having. Do you understand? So that I don't drag them back. Okay. So go ahead.
Because I'm having that doubt, because when I come across that thing yesterday, I said, okay, whenever it comes online,
there is also no way a weak case team wouldn't have also gone to the court to seek for the nullification. Remember when they held that convention, Wike was saying that, well, the court will decide.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Okay.
So
it's all right.
So
no worries.
Thank you. Go ahead.
So my next question is regarding this. My next question for the transmission now regarding this electoral transmission. So regarding this transmission now, what is now the way forward? How can Nigeria force this attack, which is the enemy of democracy? Because the guy is an enemy of the democracy. The presidential of them, these guys are enemy of democracy. So what can Nigeria do now to make sure that transmission it becomes an act, if Nigerians are able to get that act right and are able to force them to put that into the app, I think it should be one step forward.
All right, sir.
At least we are getting there.
Okay, so let him respond to it. Thank you. Thank you. Prince Francis, what can you people in Nigeria do in your country? What can you do to ensure that electronic transmission?
The only thing we can do right now is for the civil society, for the opposition parties, and for the Nigerians themselves to occupy the National Assembly. And like Senator David Mark said, pass the law Don't be bothered about those who are going to implement it. Your own is to come up with the law and get it passed. Allow those who will implement it to find a way to implement the law. So the way it is, the best thing is we have an assembly that doesn't have respect for the Nigerian people. And it is high time that the Nigerian people need to make these senators understand that we put them there. They didn't put themselves there. We are the ones who employ them, even though they are earning more salary than a lot of us. But we employ them, and they must respect us. Nigeria will be great the day the people take over their country.
All right, thank you. Let me speak to Mr. Mope. Mr. Comparable Facts, good evening and welcome. Mr. Mope, are you there? Good evening.
Yeah, how are you? Sorry.
Great,
Sorry.
great. Welcome.
Hey, Mr. Chilaka, how are you? Long time.
I'm good.
How you been?
I'm great, and you?
Good. It's nice to see you. I've not been listening. I just joined because I was in a different platform. So I was going to ask question in reference to the recently developed electronic reform. So I don't know what the topic questions. I don't want to deviate from your
No, go ahead.
I'm sorry.
I give you bombastic side eyes like this because when you go other places, you know, say go branch here. You go to shop to now.
I didn't know
you go to run up and down until your leg pain you. You go run from here to here. They come back.
I always get alert. We have the SDP candidate at Dr. Damage. So I just finished.
Okay.
Then I got an alert from yours. I said, let me come in anyway.
Okay, all right.
But anyway, I just want to come say hi because I saw Dr. Kilaka here. I said, let me come in, because I've not spoken to Dr. Kilaka since this year anyway.
I'm not a doctor. Before they go and sue me.
No, I'm giving you a doctor.
And I will soon give him professor by experience.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
So, professor by talking.
Let me ask you, Mr. Chilaka. Do you think the key reform you believe were deliberately excluded from the recent electoral amendment, and who benefit from it?
Which of the reforms?
The electoral law. Was it was some of was it deliberately excluded from the amendment?
Okay, let me start by saying that there are two things I was expecting in that law. And these two things would have been steps to help our electoral process as a nation. One of them is the fact that I was expecting that bill would say that the moment you come from party A to party B, you cease to hold on to the power you got from party A. And that INEC will be empowered. Immediately you announce your movement, INEC will withdraw your certificate. That is one. I didn't see it, but that is one thing I was expecting. And then the second one is the issue of this transmission of result. What we are saying is that let it be a law, not giving discretionary law that allows the people to implement it, to decide in what way they want to implement it. That was the problem the law had in 2022. So what we expected them to do in 2025 to say, okay, this law that says electronic transmission or electronic, whatever they want to call it, that has been there, we now want to say that it is mandatory. If you say it is mandatory, INEC will no longer have the power to tell you that the law allows us, even though it says electronic transfer or transmission, the law empowers us to use any and every means available at our discretion. We don't want INEC discretion at all. INEC should not have discretion when it comes to election results. So we want a law that ties INEC to say, this is how you're going to do it. And they must follow the law to the letter. So what the National Assembly has tried to do clandestinely is to push the buck back to INEC, to say, INEC, it's at your own discretion to use whatever means you want. So that is where the problem is.
So what they did is pretty much the status quo, what we had before, right?
Not just pretty much. Okay, go ahead, sir. Let me.
No. What they did was not only did that, but they empowered the status quo.
Oh,
They are using semantics to deceive the people. Because tomorrow, if that bill is passed, tomorrow when you go to court, the court will also tell you what they told us in 2023. Go to court. The court will tell you that INEC has the right to decide what means to use in declaring the results. So we don't want that. We want the law to be straight so that a layman on the street can understand it. Don't make it ambiguous.
Unambiguous,
simple.
Right?
Let it be simple.
Okay, so just to state it a bit clear again, is that remember what happened in the 2023 election. After the election, the court talks say the fact say INEC no transmit the result electronically, no make the election less recognizable. Why? Because the guidelines of the Electoral Act of INEC itself, 9 carry say the Electoral Act at that time carried that INEC may transfer results electronically. But what Bible said, what they now did was to now remove the word transfer, insisted on transmit in real time, so that it would be obvious, say, waiting Nigerians expect from now. As a result, they come out, they could transmit it. Okay, Akpabio, they make it. What make them know we do real transmission. Now, because of saying not be everybody get network for Nigeria. Like
Akpabio should respect his old age.
Sorry, sir.
Akpabio needs to respect his old age. If there are states in this country that don't have network, Akpabio should resign as a Senate President. It's as simple as ABCD. In the 21st century, you are telling Nigerians that there are 9 states without telephone, without data, without network, and you call yourself a Senate President, you should resign. If it is to go and distribute NEPA bill, in those days where we used to have NEPA, would they not trace those places and go and drop their bills? Even tomorrow, up to tomorrow, you call BHCN or whatever you call them, discos, are they not going to those places to drop the bills? Are they not collecting revenue from those people? Even the federal government, these places that are these states are probably saying they don't have communication. Are they not collecting revenue from those states? We just look for an excuse because every one of them, they are beneficiaries of a flawed system, a flawed electoral process. So anything that would remove that process and make it good, they don't want it.
Okay. All right. Oh yeah, T.Y. Danjuma, come to my rescue. I don't know whether I will support them. Good evening, T.Y. Danjuma.
Good evening, Precious. Good evening, Prince.
Good evening,
Mob.
I don't understand.
In fact, doctor, because Mob don't promote you.
Dr. Chilaka.
Doctor by election, doctor by experience.
No, doctor by talking.
Yeah, well done. Precious,
Sir?
you know, first of all, I want to ask you a question because this one, I know. Say you get rules to register, I mean, for approval of a radio station. The NBC also, where they in charge of registration. I think there are guidelines for anybody who wants to.
Yes, NBC guidelines, yes, sir.
Yes, and I think I know that there are certain requirements that are not. Can you open the radio for to carry out just political campaigns and so on? Is it allowed?
I am not aware that there is a particular there are categories of licenses. I am not aware that there is a particular license given for just the purpose of campaign alone. Reason is that campaigning is a seasonal thing. You understand? So you cannot give a radio license for seasonal period alone. How about when it's not election season? What's he go use the station do? Do you understand?
Mm.
And every station must also dig geared towards, in one way or the other, building our unity. And we know, say, political campaign, not what someone thing where you busy, they really unite us. So I don't know about, that happening. If you're speaking because of the station that Ogawike open, you know that people with the politics and then they pay the road pass.
That's why I'm asking you, because I want to know why, if that is not allowed, why would they approve a radio from UK just for the purpose of campaign? That's
But
not.
the radio is not just for the purpose of campaign. It's a business venture that the man has gone into, that he will come back to after the elections. It's business. Let us forget all the semantics and all the grammar of election. No, it is not for election. What you have there is a full-fledged business empire that he has built. So I don't want anybody to start telling me it's because of campaign. They will do campaign, they will do politics, the way they want. But then we were also waiting to see if when they start talking rubbish, like they tell other stations, when they start going out of order, whether the Nigerian Broadcasting Commission will keep quiet.
Okay, we'll see, because I heard someone boasting that he has, licensed the radio for the purpose of campaigns, to put somebody in office. Anyway, we'll get to see that. Now, quickly to the issue of elections that you talk. Electoral Act, that the ongoing outcry over, the controversies surrounding the Electoral Act, the amendment of the Electoral Act, and what was inserted and what was not inserted. Yeah, I think that Precious and Prince, articulated the issues here. There are three main critical issues dealing with what the Senate did, because there is the one passed by the House of Rep, and then slightly different from the one passed by the Senate, which most people are focused on. Now, the differences between what was passed by the House of Rep and the Senate are as follows. One, the Senate, the House actually, I think, went for transmission, and they went for mandatory compulsion of INEC to transmit the results from the polling station, into the IRF real time. But they also approved, so there are three issues: transmission, not transfer, because the 2022 Electoral Act provided for transfer, and there was a need to cure it.
Yes.
Yes,
And there was a need to just to ensure that
yes,
clear that ambiguity more like.
yes, following the Supreme Court ruling. So there was a need now to cure that deficiency.
Yes.
So that there will be no ambiguity in interpretation.
My electoral officer don't come.
Yeah. So
Chairman.
So just so that we don't have the issue of and all those things that we saw in 2023. So because English they had us for Nigeria these days. So transmission is clear. And then that it has to be transferred to the IRF real time. And the reason is that if you do it real time, you don't allow the time for the time lapse for people to go and be manipulating and then transfer it later. So real time is important, so that as they do and the thing just they go, you'll be seeing it. So there's nobody who has time. There'll be no time for you to, take 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours to go and tinker with the results and then post it later. So real time is important. Okay, and then the transfer, change to transmission. So there's no ambiguity. We don't want to go to court. Or I mean, if you are going to court, we are clear as to what it
And
means.
Abaribe stated it that it's because of legal issues. That's why they wanted to make sure they clarified it, and they said real-time transmission,
Yes.
real-time transmission, so that make we know how court go come misunderstand the difference
Again,
between
so,
real-time and
yes.
transmission. Before
Yes.
the court a transfer, no. So that court, because say waiting court talk now, say the fact say the electoral act guidelines, the guidelines for the the INEC guidelines stated that they may, and the electoral act stated that they may transfer. The may there is probable. It's not certain.
It's not mandatory. Yes.
So what they did now was to make it a law, because waiting the judgment been talking now, say, this sacrosanct is not a law. So we cannot hold them accountable for something that is not a law.
It's not the law, yes.
Now, when that interpretation came, that even though saying that then they give the guideline for the elections, they
have to interpret the law.
They also have the right not to stick to their guidelines if they feel say something happened when make them not uphold their guideline. So now make the lawmakers is okay, since na guideline matter, make Ukukuma make a law so that they know that part of the law now say they must transmit results in real time, transmit real time electronically, so that we'll feel they see and there they happen. And that's where the problem happened. It's sad that we hear that over 80% of them, and I talk again, if 80% of lawmakers consent to this, that means a lot of people from within APC also consented to it. Then where were all of them? And why did they not immediately raise alarm? Why didn't get to come do press conference, tell us? Why they no stage a walkout immediately? Coincide, like Akpabio announced that thing. Come begin give that clarification, whether like say they gaslight them. Why don't you just stage a walkout and say that no? We take exception to this. This is not what we all agreed. What is now?
You see, I don't know if they were sleeping, because I listened to Enyina Baribe. I've also heard Senator what is his name?
Victor Me.
No, the one from that represents Borno South. Yes, and I listened to Abaribe when he was saying that they did approve transmission, but that later, after they had finished, some two senators walked to the Senate President, and I saw the motion when somebody raised it on the floor, that they want this thing to be changed from transmission to transfer, so returning it back in the same order that it was in 2022. So, but the point was that when that was, there was someone who seconded it, okay, and I like Precious said, I expected the senators to say no, but I didn't hear any nay, or maybe
people had the same prayer to their email, and then you want me to say no. You want them to lose out on the anointing.
So why are they all coming back now to deny that this is not what you were there? The thing happened. If it happened for their back, for they different, but that said, so I don't understand really who is telling us the truth. With respect to Abaribe, I don't know who is telling us the truth. But that said, there are other issues that we are not taking note of. The Senate also did not quite agree with everything that the House of Rep pushed forward in that section, the amendment to subsections of Section 60 of the Electoral Act of 2022. Now, the issue of how long it takes INEC to the number of days that INEC is required to give to political parties, or that is allowed for campaigns and primaries and so on, used to be 350 if you go by 360 days if you go by the 2020 Electoral Act. Now it was reduced to 180 days. And then there is complaint that 180 days will not be enough for political parties to carry their campaign, do their primaries, their campaigns, their campaigns, do primaries.
Most of them they default, then they even default.
Yes,
right
that
now,
is not enough.
Don't start campaigns since.
Yes, even INEC, it's not even enough for INEC, even though the body has just announced that they are ready for election, but nobody takes any of these people things where they talk seriously.
And then political parties as well. Yeah, political parties to register their candidates is reduced from 180 to 90 days.
You see, yes. Yeah, so from instead of out of that 180, yes, 90 days.
180 days,
So
yes.
yeah, so you find out that there are so many issues, but Nigerians are not focusing on that. Then the third other issue is
And you know why this is a problem? Sorry for quickly chiming in. Let me chime in on this very quickly. You know why this is a problem? This whole situation now go benefit APC more than other political parties. Remember,
Yes,
because
every other political party, they on litigation. They get one legal case or the other.
Or the other.
So
Yes.
before they go finish all their legal cases,
The time is gone. Yes.
The time don't go. So
Yes.
now APC, they favor now pass any of them, meaning that the only stable political party we will get for 2023 election will be
It's APC. Yes.
That's what this means. If they
no,
allow
but
this plan.
APC is going to have its own problems because now they have narrowed the space. Whereas all those people who have spaces to run for this thing, now you now have people who come from other parties, plus APC members of the APC itself, running from one position.
Talking about that, people will be settled and they will keep quiet.
They'll begin to kill themselves.
Settled and they will keep quiet.
Then,
internally.
The last other thing is that whereas the House recommended, that the political parties can have direct primaries, indirect primaries, and consensus in deciding, their candidates. The Senate, chose only two. The Senate rejected direct, primaries. They approved consensus and indirect. So those are some of the
direct primaries be the most credible of all of them.
Yes. So we have to look deep at what these politicians are doing, because it looks like what they are doing is to acquiesce to those things that will ensure that they are, the people
they are re-elected.
They are re-elected, exactly, or their candidates are re-elected.
Are re-elected, yes.
So yes, they are not even looking at
the longer prospect of our democracy. They are not into that at all.
Yes, and they're not even looking at the party, although that's a party thing, that allows, because the way, if you have to take 30,000, for instance, to pick a form, how can a poor man, how can a street person, be able
30,000, a bit 30 million,
30 million, 100 million, and 200 million. So you are totally emasculated. You have removed the poor man from participating, for running for office. So again, these are all ploys to ensure that the same kind of people, keep on, coming over and their children and so on and so forth. Make us stop there because my brother Edwin did there, so that thing will speak. Thank you.
No, TY, you don't say everything when I want to talk. Everything when I want highlight, now you don't talk so. So the emphasis is still on passing that law, that electoral act into law. We don't want a situation whereby 2027, Peter Obi wins, and then they refer us back to that electoral act, which is not a law. We want the transmission, whether the 19 local governments don't have light or not, we don't care. That is the emphasis. We want it to be a law, so that Supreme Court, Appeal Court, all these elections tribunals, we don't have an escape route to say, oh, you see, it's not a law, so there's nothing we can do about it. That is the plan of the APC, and that's why I kept emphasizing on the electoral reform. It's very, very essential, because if we don't pass it, if we don't have it in place, it is this same group of unarmed robbers that will come back to govern us. They will be here, they will be related, they will come back, and there's nothing you and I can do about it at the end of the day. Because with what is happening, they have so weaponized poverty to the extent that hiring 10,000 people, 5,000 is no big deal to them. So sooner rather than later, maybe by this week, you will see some group of people who will be stationed there at the National Assembly protesting, who will be pro, Akpabio and his gang. You will see it, it will come up. And even Wike has told you now that we don't need governor, we don't need anybody. Why do you think Wike will need them when he has the judiciary in his pocket? When he has everybody that. So if we pass that law, electoral reform, and to a large extent we are able to elect people of conscience, people who will who will make laws, enabling, who will make laws for good governance, deliverance of the dividends of democracy, and then we are able to put things in place, and then you will see a better Nigeria for you and myself, for our generations yet unborn. But if we continue in this same trend, in this same pattern, like as I always say, something will give. But what it is, I don't know. But at the end of the day, all that I know that it is going to be very catastrophic if care is not taken. There will be bloodbath. Something is going to come to a head, because the only way we can make sure there is good governance in Nigeria is to elect those who are ready to deliver services to mankind, services to humanity, services to Nigerians, and to a large extent who are corruption free. Not these treasury looters that we have all over the place, because that is the template Akpabio and his gang have laid. And Nigerians should resist it. If they don't, the ball is in their court, because there's nothing we can do. Prince Shilaka, good evening. Make I greet you first, and Prince Tiwai. So that is my own small submission, Precious. That is all I wanted to talk about. Yes, thank you.
I appreciate what you have said, but at the same time, you talked about poverty, which has become a serious bone in our mouth, serious bone that's holding us down. But there's another angle that we're not looking at. The politicians are empowering their children. They're bringing forth their children. So you go serve Papa, come serve the king. And the Nigerian people are not thinking out of the box. So they make
Prince Shilaka, if I be coming, Nigerians are smart people. Nigerians are not daft. They are not dumb. But when the government has weaponized poverty, when they keep, when there are no way out for people who, for instance, here, tell me a group of Nigerians whose care will be taken care of by those in government. For instance, if you don't have accommodation, you don't have a job, you are not empowered, education and the rest, how will you resist the system? But when a large percentage of the population, they are empowered educationally, financially, they are able to eke out livings for themselves, they will pay less attention to the crumbs you bring to them. But a situation whereby almost 90% of Nigerians are poor, then tell me how they will dictate governance. Because it is only empowerment that enables citizens to be able to dictate how governance goes. For instance, you can't expect them to go to the polls and somebody is dangling 50,000 naira at them just for your vote. Do you know that as we speak, in my local area in Delta State, APC have purchased all PVCs? I'm telling you authoritatively, we are having an election in 2027. No, they've done that already. In Lagos, they have so look, I don't really know what to say, but so if people are not empowered, if the circle is a vicious circle, it will continue. So that is the only way. So I'm not blaming Nigerians. It is just that every crook, all those unarmed robbers that are governing us, that are leading us, they will continue this same circle, bringing their children, bringing their grandchildren, already paving the way for them. It is so. It is a global practice in the US, in the UK. Offsprings come in, but they come in genuinely. For instance, here now in the UK, will you come and bribe me? Will you come and give me a bag of rice? Or give me, how much will you? So that doesn't happen. It is there, but very, very insignificant. You will notice it. But over there in Nigeria, pre-election days, you already see distribution of wrapper, distribution of money, distribution of gas. Tell me how you keep, that's what I keep repeating myself. Until we do that, until we block these loopholes to enable these things. For instance, somebody like Wike is empowering his son. Tell me how Wike would have done that if he has not looted state treasury and everything to do that. He is building houses for judges. Is that his calling? Right. Is that the job of the FCT?
I like it when those of you abroad, sorry, Precious. I love it when those of you abroad are so filled with zeal, patriotic zeal. Let us do something. All of you abroad, come back to Nigeria. Let us fix this country.
Well, Prince, if my safety is guaranteed, I will be there. But I cannot come to a place. Nigeria has given me so much. You know, I always say it. But I cannot arrive at the Murtala Muhammad Airport, and my safety is not guaranteed. Maybe on my way to Benin, even if I go by air, I'm still going to. When I arrive Benin, I will go by road.
We that we are charging us to do the work. How do we ensure and guarantee our own safety?
No, Precious. What I'm saying is that we should propagate this essence of good governance and make sure, for instance, when the laws are there, let us see the loopholes that the judges would apply in delivering judgment. And by the way, do you know that the judges too, they are at a big disadvantage? Judges that are still doing what do they call it, handwriting judgment, or judges that have no residence. When they retire, they have money to retire to. They have no good homes. Look at what Wike is using now. I told you, Wike started that transform in River State. Is he not doing at the national level now?
On the conversation, please, very quickly, so that we can all have a say. The Barris, if you want to say something, you can unmute yourself, and you're muted. You are muted. You are muted, Mr. Barris.
Oh, thank you. Sorry, I just want to join the full house. PMP Enterprise, my personal person, Prince Chilaka.
How are you, sir?
Freshito. I'm there your side. But you know why I just called in? I've been following the whole week. I've been so busy. You know, Prince says something where I want even point out to you every time, but because I feel bad. Whenever they have this, Tinubu did this, and then they will come bring Peter Obi in, and you go come do the thing, go come make him look like saying now Peter Obi fought, say anything where they happen. We're not even supposed to talk about Peter Obi. There's nothing concern us. Let political parties handle who their candidate will be. When we go there out, they focus on this law, this assembly will not give us what we want, and then try to see, because it be like the way Nigerians they do now, with till they enter into political party matter, when we not get any choice, we don't even get mad for what they decide on. Like I hate to use this example. As they speak now, see Trump, they do everything when they do. You don't go hear anything about Democrats. They are concentrating on who they go bring, how they go bring them, how they go take my shot. They are doing their own thing. Now when they bring somebody out, now the people say, oh, see who you bring, we don't like them. But now, people are saying Nigeria, we just worry ourselves, give us a headache about what ADC not do, what LP, this and that. We come the day distracted. Meanwhile, they are killing people massively. What did I tell you about this? The whole thing what happened for Nigeria, now distraction. Now distraction, everyone. Okay, and this one now what you bring again, say, make I tell you this thing, honestly, every nation in the world, every progressive and developed nation in the world, now people where they diaspora, either they bring their resources, they bring their intellect, they bring something to those on ground. So I know they like tell my story because I passed through gun and knife, come abroad. Now I have children. Do you expect me to bring my children to come fight for who? Now me I never fight finish. So me I they come. This one me, I know what to do on my own side. I don't go if you go, I don't fight for my Abuja. Go, not the river say they talk. Me, nothing concern me for abroad. I came here by chance or whatever you may call it. I escaped some things. But me, I don't not go retire for year the craze. Now when my blood they hot. Now there, no worry. But make a your act to this. Not be everybody where they abroad go come Nigeria. Can not be say they be. We go if as I talk to you now, I get people I sponsor 3 candidates for that Abuja election. 3 for ADC. Make a tell the ADC. All my candidates there for there. All right. Now what thing I go feed they do with that? They don't get the kind of money where they get. They give them. So at this point now, what thing I feed do? Those of us they ask for. I need to find somebody where get the mind to stand this thing and push everything behind them. Just to know, I dare if I share some information about you. Peter Obi platform where there for Atlanta is strong past the waiting on that they do for there. Honestly speaking, so we go if all of us just come there now, we go come bring the resources. So our job for here now to look what in the happen, find how we go do, support those who want to fight. Not everybody go fight. That's all we have to do. That's why I like your platform. When matter don't come, or how we go take help. And finally, I beg, make we, if they bring Peter Obi matter, not even throw any light on them for platform. It never reach yet. Let ADC do their matter. Make them bring out who be their flag bearer, and then we go from there. Now, what I would suggest to? Sorry, my team they play final today. That's why I see me dressed like this. I don't reach the area, but I got to listen to honor. Go Patriot. Thank you, my people. Hey, Tiwa Danjuma. Tiwa, where you there? You know, say Patriot day game today. You suppose you see me, I don't represent you. So now my team be that. All right, thank you so much, Precious. Yes, have a good one. I beg, make we first leave Peter Obi matter for all these things. Make we see what these people they do. Akpabio say they never pass the law. Now what in talk? He say we still get time to deliberate. So they never finally pass them. But I know say now heavy mistake where those people, they know they think. All they're supposed to do is say, hey, let's have the electronic transfer from what a polling booth to this. Talk them, whether I'm going to do anything or not. So to come, but no, they don't get sense now. It don't get sense. Now what the people want be this, we will still do our thing, but let's do what they want. They know they think. Now what I see, they think. What is it? Tell them when the time reach, if they want rig, oh, network go down. No, what in there? Never the same thing what they do. Network not there, network not there. That's how we know feed them. See what we get. We'll go make noise, we go stop. But you know what? They don't have it in their head.
So
that's it. So
make a quickly tell on waiting Akpabio being talked today after as David Mark for the same event to him and David Mark when he was talking.
Yeah, I watched the thing.
So that Peter.
Democracy breathes through such interrogation.
This is very fair.
But I don't think citizens are free to abuse the legislature. I give you an example. There is a man who heads one NGO, or a CSO. He was on television the other day. He was abusing the current Nigerian Senate that he makes money from. And he said that the Senate is the worst since the world was founded. And he's judging us by something that is incoherent. Electoral Act amendment that is incompleted. We have not completed it, but they are already on television. You see all sort of panels. Because they don't understand lawmaking. They don't even know that even the one in the Senate is not completed until we look at the votes and proceedings. So when we bring out the votes and proceedings, any senator has a right to rise up and say on clause 3, this was what we agreed upon. And if those who are recording through the verbatim recorder disagree or agree, we amend it before we approve the votes and proceedings. That is the only time you can now talk about what the Senate has done or what the Senate has not done. But already people are on television abusing the Senate, talking about the Senate, even when what we did has not yet been approved by the same Senate. It's incomplete. Your Excellency, see how you are better at us. Once you decide, nobody will question and they will understand. But in our own case, we have so many processes, you know, from moving the motion, from bringing it up, going to passing through second reading, and then going to public hearing, coming back to this, and even in votes and proceedings that are yet to be approved, people are already concluding. I can't talk because I only hold the gavel, and I drop when they tell me to drop. When they say aye. If they say nay, I will not drop the gavel. Am I right or wrong? But I can still drop it and shout that the nays have it. But in this case, we are yet to complete the process. So why are people setting up panels in all television studios and then abusing, and then people have become mouth legislators? Go and contest election if you want to talk about lawmaking, and go and join them and make the law. People who have never even done like Senator Bob did over a century, still a century ago. None of them has even been elected councillor yet. But they are on television abusing senators, abusing members of the legislature, but I leave them to God. We will not be intimidated. We will do what is right for this country. And our expression, our lawmaking will reflect the feelings of the generality of Nigerians, not that of one NGO or somebody who gets money from the European Union to carry senators to Lagos and then go and then ask them for account and then hand over a paper and say, go and pass. That is not lawmaking. Retreats are not lawmaking. Retreats are part of consultations. Distinguished English saying, am I right or wrong? So why do you think that that paper you agreed in Lagos during retreat is what must be agreed on the floor? Well, I hope I don't run into trouble. Where all institutions have the right to express and
All right.
themselves.
So this one
That's what
went on.
democracy
You don't
says.
get like say, another jab at. I'm sorry, but another jab at Ndume. Remember, he had said it before. Say here no be NGO or BBC Hausa where you get a say. Now abusing senators that they collect money from organizations, NGOs, and all that, and they want to use those papers they give to them and translate it to law. It's not the same thing. I don't. But let well talk. Go ahead. See why that.
Precious, this is just political talk. Because even though we are not there at the Senate and the House, we see videos of what is happening, not AI. Okay? All those processes that you're talking about, going around the various, this is the geographical zone, calling the meetings and getting the opinion of the people, we've crossed all that stage. The committee and the subcommittees have met. It is the final process that we are in now. That is the harmonization of what the House passed and what they passed. Okay, so and it is good for Nigerians to be reacting now, because by the time where they go down close the issue, to be difficult for anybody. It is good for Nigerians and for those good people in the Senate and in the House who took part in all these processes to say this is not what we approved. This is not what we discussed, because we have seen things that were discussed, and then when it went to the Gazette, is a different thing. We have seen all those things. We have seen, budget that was passed, and then at the end of the day, there were insertions of what was not approved. So we know the Senate and we know the legislature the way they do. So all this one when they talk, it's just being a politician. The point is that it is good because this particular discussion, whether in the social media, whether by CSOs, whether by fellow politicians or whatever, or lawmakers and so on, is good because it's telling them that this time you can't take us for granted. So they are
Is he already being threatened by the panels that you hold across television stations? Because that's not a case study for him. Like, you people are holding panels across television stations, the law has not been passed yet. If people shut up, they'll pass this law the way they want it. And people are talking now. It's a problem for them.
Why is it worried? This is something that has to do with the people, not with them, with the people who are voting and what they want. So if they see anything that is amiss, that is not in tandem with what was agreed, through all the sessions that they held, in the various committees and so on and so forth, they have a right to say no, and to point it out. So we want this thing to be open. We want to see those senators who will stand and say they don't want transmission, they want transfer, they don't want real time, like Senator Adaramoye, whatever, the Senate Speaker, and some of those who did what they are doing. We want to see them, want to know them, so that in the fullness of time, when they come back to come and seek election, the people would recognize those who are standing against the will of the people. But beyond all that, for me, this is just all a process, because we said it before and I said it before. I'm not impressed. It's good to do amendment, but I'm not impressed because I know that the people who are going to run these processes are not angels from heaven. They are human beings. And it's very, very easy to win these people over, because a lot of those people who are doing those jobs are not millionaires. The people that are in the polling stations and so on are regular people. And by the time you give some of them money, you know, that they have never seen, they'll just close their eyes to whatever things that you want to do. So all these excuses about no light, logistics and all that is never there. If we really want to run a free and fair election, we can do it. So all those senators and House of Rep members were saying that, okay, internet penetration, this one and all those ones. That is all nonsense. Hogwash that they're talking about.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, TY, thank you very much for that submission.
I need to release Prince Francis Chilaka. Prince Francis Chilaka, thank you so much. So make I release you, may you go, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much for that submission, TY. You know, Prince, good night.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Good night.
Good
Yeah,
night.
you know one thing, Akpabio, that Senate President, and his unarmed robbers, they are the most disingenuous set of parliamentarians that have ever been selected, because Akpabio in the first case didn't even qualify to be on that senatorial ballot, let alone elected, to have ever gone to that National Assembly. That man thinks every Nigerian is a fool. You understand me? You know Itodo. If you listen to Itodo, that Yaga executive director, he openly said it. He said Akpabio lied to Nigerians. If Akpabio feels otherwise, let him go and sue that guy. Because that guy was part and parcel of the entire process, entire gamut of all the six geographical tours, the collation, everything. And even, you know, these senators, you know, some of that is why when I still hammering on poverty, these people, you take the weight on their shoulders is so much. They cannot come out and openly say things. Otherwise, like what T.Y. said earlier, where were they when Akpabio, if you watch Akpabio on that very day, when he was saying the nay and the yes and all those things, he just slammed the gavel like that. There was nothing like a yeah assenting to whatever it was. Akpabio wanted to be smart and clever by half. Just that he's been caught out. Himself and his unarmed robbers. That is it. So if Nigerians keep quiet, if they keep quiet and allow this current nonsense to prevail over them, then that is their piece of cake, or that's their business. I don't, because there come a time where you have to stand up to injustice, because Nigerians over time have been oppressed, we have been lied to, we have been deceived, and no matter what we think about it, it is time now for us to resist. So thank you very much, Precious. TY, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Precious, good morning. It's morning, right?
It's morning
no,
already.
Good morning. All right, good night, everyone.
My brother Edwin, thank
good
you
night,
so
Precious.
much.
Good night,
Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah,
good
bye.
night. Good night, viewers. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. All right, Nigerians, that's the size of our package today. Let's continue to speak for the growth and development of our nation. You see, so when I say talking, they go anywhere. Who tell you said they talk, they go anywhere? On the host panels across the television station, they are hearing it and they are feeling agitated. And maybe they will push to do the right thing. We need a call for maybe kill or maim anybody or crucify anybody. No, we just want something that works for all of us in this country, so that the country would be like say we get sense more. And we just want the reasonable thing to be done. People want more trust. There is a trust deficit, and that's what people want, so that they will get trust again for both the system and people who be said in good for power. Thank you so much. I'll see you again tomorrow evening, God willing. Remember to protect your mental health. I love you guys. Good night and God bless you. Goodbye.